This is really strange. Santiago Flight 513, the missing plane that landed after 35 years with 92 skeletons on board. How did it land with the skeletons? Santiago Flight 513, a commercial airliner that takes off in Germany in 1954 and lands in Brazil in 1989 with 92 skeletons on board, with the dead pilot still at controls. Did the Santiago Flight 513 enter a time warp? What is going on? For the first time, it seems to be beyond science fiction, but for some years, this miraculous story has been circulating on the internet with various eye-catching headlines such as Pan American Flight 914 took off in 1955 but landed after 37 years, or DC-4 aircraft disappeared in 1955, landed after 37 years, or 1950s airliner lands with 92 skeletons, or a lost plane found after 37 years, all describing nearly the same incident. The origin of the story of lost Santiago Flight 513? Actually, this extraordinary story was first published as a breathtaking news by the Weekly World News tabloid, November 14, 1989 edition, where the report of a newspaper reporter named Erwin Fisher confirms the sketchy details about the missing Santiago Flight 513. Is it a piece of conclusive news, or was it just a sensational hoax? What actually happened to the missing Santiago Flight 513 on its way from Germany to Brazil? According to Brazilian aviation authorities, the commercial airliner named Santiago Flight 513 took off from Germany September 4, 1954, and vanished somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. A fruitless massive search was conducted, and the investigators were finally forced to believe that the aircraft was crashed and all the passengers had lost their lives in this tragic event. And here's what makes the story of the missing Santiago Flight 513 even stranger. The story becomes even more fascinating when the missing flight allegedly reappears and circles the airport of Porto Alegre, Brazil, October 12, 1989, and lands with 92 skeletons on board. Let's remember, it said it circled and then landed. The authorities said that the control tower had no communication with the missing plane that apparently circled the airport area and then landed. After going to check the plane upon opening the doors, airport support and security were absolutely shocked to discover 92 skeletonized bodies, including of all 88 passengers and 4 crew, the members sitting in their seats. The stranger scene was that of the skeletonized pilot, Captain Miguel Victor Curry, who was sitting in the intact position and was still apparently clutching the controls. They also noted that the plane was still idling. What is this? But strangely, the officials had refused to comment on reappearance of the missing Flight 513. They didn't conclude where the plane had been for the intervening 35 years. Did the Santiago Flight 513 enter a time warp? Dr. Kelso Atello, a paranormal researcher, said the Santiago Flight 513 had almost certainly entered a time warp. There is no other explanation, he said. But he doesn't seem to have any explanation as to how the skeleton of the pilot managed to land the plane safely. What was the response of government and flight authorities to this weird claim? Santiago Airlines apparently went out of business in 1956, and their executives who are still alive did not know much about the flight to comment. Despite the government agents that had extensively investigated this strange event, they refused to discuss anything about the plane or about their investigation leads. They also refused to comment on Dr. Atello's words that the plane had entered a time warp. That's the only explanation. And the government has never come out with any particular interpretation. Therefore, it's strongly believed that the government officials have hushed up this case. They have clearly all the evidence that time warp does really exist, and they don't want to scare us. However, there have been numerous such reports of pilots losing time miraculously, of people being teleported from one side to another, thousands of miles within seconds, without any rational explanation at all. Here's what we actually found about the missing Santiago Flight 513. We first searched on Wikipedia for this peculiar story, since there's enough information about all the lost and crashed aircraft chronologically, but we did not find there anything about the missing Santiago Flight 513. or about the disappearances of Pan American Flight 914 and DC-4 aircraft, nor have we found any other reliable source backing this sensational news story. However, if this engrossing story was not a mere hoax, which is more likely to be in this case, due to a lack of proper evidence except for the one and only piece of the tabloid or newspaper that is not precisely verified at all, and was based on a real event or on some other similar incident, when the question definitely comes to our mind, what really happened to the allegedly missing Santiago Flight 513? Is it possible to go through such a time warp and come back again? In this world, there are hundreds of places where aircraft, ships, boats, or even people go missing without any trace. Many intellectuals believe that those places unpredictably create some kind of a time portal called a vortex. The vortex is said to be the result of a parallel universe, including, according to the theory, vortex opens in another world. A parallel world consists of antimatter, and that can absorb people, masses, or even light and time. And to say people gone missing in this world actually reach another world within seconds. And in this world there are such many places, but especially Bermuda, the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Sea Zone, the Michigan Triangle are the ones that are notoriously famous for such unexplained disappearances and unusual incidents. To know more about the vortex and the Earth time portal zones, you can read another article, Strange Case of Bruce Gernon, Survivor of the Deadly Bermuda Triangle. For centuries, Bermuda Triangle has earned enough infamy for missing ships, people, and aircraft without any proper explanation. Whoever had disappeared from this triangle zone has never returned again to tell the story, but there's one man named Bruce Gernon who, according to his claim, once did the impossible in the real life, and Gernon is the only survivor of the Bermuda Triangle death zone to uncover the story. And according to him, he's experienced a time warp theory of the Bermuda Triangle and lived to tell his story on survival. He's considered to be the only person on Earth to witness that mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle, and many others have also seen parts of this phenomenon mystery and disappearance, but Gernon has seen it completely. He witnessed this from his birth stage through its mature stage and enters the heart of the time storm and escaped through a tunnel of vortex and experienced a time warp. Bruce Gernon claims that December 4, 1970, he flew a Beach Bonanza from Andros Airport, Bahamas to Palm Beach, Florida, 250 miles away in only 47 minutes. It required a speed of 500 kilometers per hour consistently for a small plane, and it was impossible. Gernon and his daughter, Rob McGregor, were on this flight, and he saw a thick, extensive layer of extremely white fog that was coming into them, and at that time his plane connected with the control center when it went lost, as well as compass and other aircraft devices were not working at all, and these happened all at once, he said. And you can read the rest of that on there. So it seems to be that some kind of a vortex is around. This is from Inhale Ancient Mysteries on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.